Well, this is kind of embarrassing. I was agreeing so much in the last cast that we have finished all of our week 5 games, and it turns out we had just one more left in the tank. This one was rescheduled at the last moment, and this is going to be our last week 5 game. I'm TurboTabs. I'm joined with Eskimo on the co-cast as well. Say hi, Eskimo.
Hello.
And we've also got hamaham on our production tonight, and yep, you guessed it, it is the Swamp versus liest und doof. I hope I'm saying that right, but for the sake of all the Germans in the channel and all the English people as well, I'm going to call them the Germans from now on. I hope that's fine with you, Eskimo.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was thinking as well. I have no hope in pronouncing that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is our ETF2L Season 29 Premiership coverage for those who aren't keeping track. That does mean we're going to be watching a bit of Product, watching a bit of Snakewater, and this is a bit of a treat for me, Eskimo, because this is the first time I actually get to see the Germans in the flesh, you know, with my own eyes, in the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've been missing them all season, really.
Then you've missed their original roster, where they had Leto on demo. But,
yes.
It could actually be that you're better off, because I've heard rumors that apparently they're playing a lot better now, due to, like, apparently speaking English in the comms solved some of their problems, where, like, they're kind of more accurate with comms because they have to speak English, rather than speaking their native language. And that's actually a pretty interesting point.
Yeah, I've heard of this phenomenon before. Usually what happens is when you're speaking with your native tongue, you want to kind of throw out all sorts of profanities or extra little blurbs and whatnot. But if you're talking in English, you just kind of know the basics and you say what you just need to say because you're not really feeling comfortable in talking in English in every other aspect of the game. That's why probably Brits get that toxic
exactly.
I guess personality about them is because they can only ever speak English. If only we could speak French, Eskimo, maybe we might not be so toxic.
I don't think French is the secret to not being toxic, if I'm being honest. I don't think the French people have a great reputation in this game. But yeah, it does sound a bit pedantic, like that changing their language actually changed their playstyle. But honestly, like at this level, communication is so key in your team. So that they have better, clear communication now is actually a huge upgrade for their team, apparently.
Well, we talk so much about these teams, but we don't even know who's on these teams, Eskimo. So I think this is the time to pull up some of Gentleman John's stats and load up some of these reports, see if we can get some like TF2 pictures to the names. And actually, we're going to go for the Swamp first. That is Daegu on Medic, Domo on Demo Man, Yellen on that Pocket Soldier, Crayon will be playing that Pocket Scout, I believe, Pred playing the Roaming Soldier, and Gink is also playing that Aggressive Scout.
Yeah, man, and the first thing that pops out to me, that you know, it's maybe a lesser looked at stat, but Daegu on almost 7 Ubers per drops. I mean, that's completely insane. Like, that's literally, like, on average, more than 1 drop a map, so maybe we can keep an eye out for that. Maybe he's just been really unlucky, maybe it's been snipes, headshots, you know, things you can't really avoid. But hopefully that's not too much of a factor for the Swamp, because I know playing with you know, if your medic is underperforming, it really, it makes it very hard for the team. Like, your whole team can be doing really well, but if your medic is underperforming, I mean, that's key. Like, you can have a scout underperforming, but your medic underperforming, very, very important for the team.
Oh, yeah.
And another thing I see, actually, is the scouts of Crayon and Gink, I guess, they are taking more of a back seat this season than you would usually expect. Looks like Yellen and Pred are definitely more dominant on the stats here.
Yeah, you actually get to see Yellen is right up there. If you look in those little brackets for me, Eskimo, you can see that there's a little number attached to them, and that kind of ranks them in the grand leaderboard in all of the soldiers or all the people of their class. And Yellen is up there. He's 5th out of all of the soldiers this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's very impressive.
Yeah, big clapper to him.
Like, you have to imagine the top 4 are probably the soldiers from Ascent and 7, because as they win all their games, I mean, they're going to have very good stats. So for Yellen to be just behind those top 4 soldiers, it's pretty impressive, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty good work by him.
We could probably do some contrasting if we bring up the Germans for a moment there on the team page, but usually what you find in these sort of scenarios is if someone's excelling incredibly on one class, you'd think that, oh, well, usually the top teams will have the rest of those things, but there's not so many frags to go around, Eskimo. Someone's going to have to sit back and cap for the team and just be the bitch. And they have to kind of suffer on the leaderboard for it.
Yeah, for sure.
For example, I mean, Clip has been marked as the best roamer of all season. And Fishkoff, he's kind of like on the other end of this poll. I mean, again, not enough frags to go around, so...
Yeah, man. But I guarantee you, if you played against them, you would see a completely different story. Like, the reason Clip's stats are so good is because he plays a more passive roamer style. He doesn't really like to initiate, whereas Fishkoff is really in your face, and you can tell when you're playing against Fishkoff because he hits insane rockets. Like, I think he has some of the most underrated DM, like, in Europe at the moment. I mean, every time I play against him, he's just directing our scouts, like, every single fight, man.
Yeah, and plus look at that airshot counter. The dude's got 22, while the other dude's only got 11. Ugh.
Yeah, how can you call Clip the soldier of the, regardless of his KD, you can't call him soldier of the season with 11 air shots. That's pathetic, man.
You can tell he's already an outcrier just by the fact that he's got 18 kills on average, but 14 deaths on average. That's not a true roamer.
No.
Somebody's kind of pussying out here, and I don't like it.
I mean, in fairness, Fishkoff kind of, he does that role well enough, perhaps, where Clip doesn't really need to die meaninglessly. Like, often it is the pocket for the team who makes the space, so maybe Clip just doesn't find it necessary, but maybe, it could be that he's not playing as well as he could, but we'll see tonight, I guess.
Yeah, we can actually compare this directly, as I know over in the production kind of clipping room, we've got a Germans versus the Swamp graphic, if the production rumbles around for that. But in the meantime, is there anybody that we should really keep an eye out tonight, despite the stats, Eskimo? Is there anyone you've got your eye on? Despite
the stats, I mean, Stefan is literally legendary, man. And apparently, regardless of his stats, I mean, obviously not huge on this page, they're still pretty good. I have heard that he is, like, the carry for the Germans. Like, he apparently does so much work in scrims and officials, just like plowing into the enemy team. He still has that amazing DM he was known for back in the day. So he is putting in a lot of work. So I can imagine him being a deciding factor tonight, especially considering what we saw from the Swamps, their scouts stats.
Right. Well, my production just tells me in my ear that we don't actually have that graphic in the in the back. He can't seem to find it, but I guess we're just gonna have to use our imaginations. If you can pull up any graphic, then hamaham, I'll take anything right now. Hell, bring me another team's graphic.
Do we have Smear versus Domo? I'd like to see that because they're both very good demos.
Let's just give me anything, hamaham. I'll take it. But
please.
Going back to the whole Stefan point, he truly is a master of the game at this point. The only thing that's really holding him back is kind of playing on autopilot. He doesn't really have the same passion as he once did when he was playing on the side of Epsilon. And, when he's playing on autopilot mode, sure, he really is that good. He's still got that good move. He's still got that good DM, but I imagine he's not too committed like he used to be. He's probably just going to turn up the scrims, have fun, knuckle down and try and fix his team's mistakes, that just really play it out, and if they do a bit better, or if he can just do a bit better for his team, that's all well and good for him. But I wouldn't expect Stefan to kind of be, taking over the top tables at any rate.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I know Leto, like, he was on the team at the start of the season, and he was actually telling me that, like, he wasn't sure about the team because Kratos and Stefan weren't really looking to take the season that seriously. As we do see Eliquor versus Smear. Unfortunately, Eliquor is on Team Ascent, so this isn't...
Right.
Oh, we don't have the demo comparison, but it's fine. We're talking about Stefan, I guess. Stefan and Kratos, apparently they weren't willing to fully try hard this season. But I think they are still, it does seem like now that they've realized they do have a chance at playoffs. I imagine they will be, they will be pretty serious tonight. They will be shouting in the comps,
Yeah, this happens every single time a Prem player comes back, Eskimo. They always say, like, oh, we're just here to play some TF2 and have fun, but as soon as playoffs rears its head in, that Premiership gene just kind of kicks in and starts telling them, like, we could totally do this if we, I don't know, scrim an extra night, sacrifice a player here and there on the team. Who knows, but we could probably use this time to segue into the demo men, actually. I know we haven't quite got... Domo's stats up to kind of compare, but we can still have a good impression of Smear's stats looking at it and comparing against Elikor, who, in my opinion, is probably the best demo man to watch this season so far. Absolutely. So, I mean, what greater comparison can you have? And the only thing I've noticed so far is, good God, he gets a lot more kills than Elikor, which is a bit strange because that guy is kind of kill hungry as it is.
Yeah, man, but at the same time, he gets twice as many deaths. And I mean, if you're getting 16 deaths, you better hope that you're getting more kills than somebody with 8. Because I mean, you have to wonder how many of those kills are literally just jumping in, like dying, and just getting a trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it might be offset by the fact that there is a couple more heals being pumped into Elikor, and...
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, and I know Smear can play a bit heal-starved as well as heal... oversaturated as well, so he really is a player that stood the test of time and has proved himself time and time again. So I can see why his presence in the team of the, well, I'm not going to say the name, but the Germans has kind of been a positive impact for them. He is like a true, and he never tilts as well. This is one aspect that you never kind of get to see other stats or hear about or watch in the gameplay. He's a wonderful presence to be had in the Mumble comms, and he can kind of lead the game in of itself as well. Truly a wonderful player, but maybe we should move on to another class, Eskimo, before I suck the dick of his ghost too hard.
Well, it does look like we're not too far from starting. We do have 12 players on the server, so one thing I'd like to bring up actually is the context of this game. Because this game is like the deciding factor for, not the deciding factor, but a very important factor in who's going to be making playoffs this season. Like, as we've seen through the rest of the season, I mean, aside from Seven and Ascent, every team in Prem right now is really capable of making playoffs. So any point these guys can get is really going to help them out in making playoffs and possibly achieving their Premiership dreams.
Yeah, I am starting to feel like a broken record season after season. I always say this is the closest season we've ever had, but it's true. This is the closest season. When has there ever been a time where you could look at the entire bottom 5 or 6 teams and just think, yep, you can definitely make it into the playoffs? It's just so strange.
I mean, it's a really interesting scenario this season because essentially all 6 of the bottom teams in Prem are new to Prem, so yeah, it's a very interesting season.
And what greater note to start our game off will be our first map, our first game between these two teams, the 2 playoff contenders, the Swamp versus Werdast East Doof, the Germans in this Week 5 playoff game. It's Snakewater, baby, and the first thing I see on mid is just kind of calm-ass play. Everyone's just kind of playing the spam game. There is a quick kind of bomb coming in from Pred, but he's actually doing it as a flank play. Hoovers up the health pack and decides to actually take the aggression onto Kratos, who gets led into the kitchen, and down he goes to the scattergun of Gink, who is rejoining his team now, trying to clean up these leftover players. The only players that are left are Smear and Stefan, but they are a dangerous 2 players to be left with. They can usually get some DM out, but it's not going to be made in this instance, or maybe not. Stefan is actually taking some of these 1v1s. I wonder if we'll see a... oh no, Gink shows old man Stefan that the new blood is here to stay.
Yeah, Gink with a very nice mid there, but really the problem was Pred bombed in and basically was completely unchecked for the entire mid. Got a free frag onto Kratos, and at that point the mid was decided. I mean, like, the Germans did a really good job of making the mid a scrappy fight, and they did end up getting Daegu, so that's the Ubercharge advantage pretty much equalized, and actually they do have an advantage from that. So pretty well played by the Germans to come out of that with the pick onto Daegu.
Yeah, I can understand their pain though. Usually when you get that rover behind and he's hoovered up a health pack, you feel like, should I really waste time on this roaming soldier? but in their kind of hesitance, they did get punished for it. Smear gets picked off from this little saw room here. They do pop off their Uber and hoping to maybe pick up the pieces, but this is car crash of a push so far. They've not only lost Smear, they've lost Stefan as well. The soldier's even going to get cleaned up. He does get the force out over against Daegu, but Daegu can just call this like a good Uber at this point, Eskimo.
Yeah, man, Daegu milked that so well. If that one soldier hadn't got that one rocket on, oh my god, like, that was so close to a drop for Daegu, but he just clutches that one out.
Oh, Clip has joined the fight, and he actually gets cleaned up really quickly, embarrassed by Daegu that gets the medic frag onto him. Now Stefan and co are going to rejoin this fight, but they're a man down, and it makes me wonder if they can even hold on to this point. They will give it up and they will lose the point. Ooh, a headshot coming out against Fishkoff. Crayon is just kind of reminding people he's still a player in this game. He's still playing that sniper class. Stefan is just walking in and just takes 2 kills for free, goes back to his team, does die, but his team manages to cap the point as well. Crayon kills Kratos in the back line. Again, people keep forgetting about Crayon, and they will pay the price. They have lost their medic for it, and he has reset this fight for them.
Yeah, the scouts from the Germans there did so much. They just literally tore through the swamp there. But unfortunately, in the end, Yilin with an insane bomb in surfs Kratos. Like, Kratos hits a crazy surfing around in the sky, and then gets sniped out of the sky by Crayon. Such a good play by Crayon, like really clutch to get the pick there.
You can tell when a sniper's starting to feel it, he's going to start running that full-time sniper, and I can see Crayon is opting to actually do that play style. He's gone the sniper class again. It makes me think that he wants to stay on that class almost all game if he keeps hitting shots like that. And also, who else is also having a decent game? It's Gink Eskimo. Look at him. He's actually towering on the scoreboard as well at this early in the game.
He did really well after the mid as well in that push into second, but unfortunately it didn't work out for the team. But yeah, Crayon is like... people might not expect it because he was a mid-main last season, but he is so annoying to play against on Sniper, man. He just hits the shots.
Yeah, he's a body shot warrior, it looks like. Who needs headshots when you can just kind of get the job done with the good old-fashioned body shot? Denio would be proud, as he just gets a quick buff like any good sniper, and he's going to keep checking and rotating these doors. You don't want to keep sitting on one door for too long. Keep them on their toes, I say, Eskimo.
Yeah, it does seem like the game has slowed down a bit, though, and you can tell why. It's because, like, these are two teams relatively new to Prem, you know? Some of these players are experienced, but not too experienced, and at this point in a pretty intense Prem game where you're playing for a potential playoff spot, you're not going to be wanting to make too many risks. So I guess we're going to see more of this sniper as Crayon just still kind of rotating, gets a shot onto Adelos but doesn't hit it. And yeah, both of these teams reluctant to make a move, but I'm sure something will be happening soon enough.
Who do you think prefers to play at this sort of slow pace? Who would benefit the most out of this, in your opinion, Eskimo?
Well, at the moment... Oh, there's a bomb in from Clip. He's on Daegu, completely unchecked. 2 rockets, but isn't going to get the frag. But what I was going to say is that, I mean... the Germans choosing to play without a sniper and yet still not go for anything, it really is in favor of the swamp then. I mean, if you're just going to sit there and let the enemy team snipe for free, they're eventually going to get a pick, and there it is, on the Fishkoff. Crayon gets a pick. And that's
speaking
2
of free.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of 3, Fishkoff will go down. That's their way in. They're starting to posture around these doors. They're just playing the spam game out now. They actually dedicate the Uber to make sure they hold on to this midpoint. Kratos lights the bulb, and so does Daegu. He actually backs off, scared of this Uber and this sort of solid standoff from the Germans here, and that's enough to kind of solidify things. They do try and bait them in, and Pred does get a kill onto Smear. That might open things up now. That's their area denial taken out of the game.
Kratos taken down as well, but Clips in onto Daegu. He doesn't. Oh, and there he goes with the follow-up from Stefan. They get Daegu, and they're really making this a scrappy fight. As it does look like a 3v2 now, but then it's with the sniper, and it looks like the swamp came out on top as Stefan is going to back up to mid. Yeah, when they took that trade into mid, it would have worked out pretty well, but Yilin did end up dying on top. But the pick actually ended up baiting the Germans to overextend, and it took down Smear and Kratos. So maybe Yilin fed on purpose, but we'll never know.
Yeah, that is the key word there, overextension. The scouts and soldiers were just so eager to get into the fight. Stefan was sat back, kind of scratching his head like, team, what are you doing? This is not what Nox has taught me. You're supposed to take your time, blob up, use the fact that you've got that medic advantage to your name, but they didn't listen, Eskimo, and they're going to have to start this all over again. Clip is going in for the bomb, though. He actually decides to go on to Pred, who's the easiest available target. Gets a crossbow, and it's like it never happened.
Oh, and there's the drop.
Oh my god. Okay, well, with Kratos taken out of the picture, that does mean that he just needs to start blobbing up around Daegu now, who's going to feel all sorts of hate. He actually gets a kind of backstab from this scout, who does get cleaned up, but forces out his Uber. Stefan is the only one alive, and he might get a back cap going as well. He's going to go back, brings back 3 players from the swamp, and they do get the kill, but they have lost the war of the cap, as they are taking much longer for this mid-cap.
Yeah, it looks like Stefan just made that play just to get a few spawners up on second. Oh, Clip goes down as well, but I was talking about that Crayon sniper. He is better than people think, and he really proved it there, getting the drop onto Kratos. Really well played for his team, and looks like the Swamp are going to take a second for free here as the Germans decide that Clip down and having a sniper as well, they're not in any position to fight for second.
Yeah, they will cut their losses. They've got actually a Stefan sniper up, well, all for about 2 seconds, and he goes back to scout. It's understandable. He is a... You do like to keep that presence of the scout up as well, and plus he wants to do a bit of building with his medic, which they need to kind of do to get that line back in place. They do pop off the Uber over in the swamp now, but they should have their Uber over on the Germans as well. They're trying to clear the point of stickies because there's no one to really aggress onto, and they spring the trap. The Germans have come in, they pop their Uber, and they're starting to clean up everybody that hasn't made their way out of a door, and that seems to be 4 of them there, Eskimo.
Yeah, that was really well played by the Germans. Like, they got the better Uber and they knew it, so they just, like, flooded forward, picking up every frag. They really had good focus fire there, and they probably will be able to take this pick advantage into mid. Let's see where they want to take it from. Looks like Saw, but they do have to worry about that sniper from Crayon up on his own balcony.
Yeah, he will actually decide to move a bit closer, but needs to be aware that they can close the line a bit quicker the closer he gets for the better shot. And they do get the clean up kill onto Fishkoff, and that will dissuade them from making this kind of dry push in, but actually they get the Yellen picks, so maybe they might second guess that a retreat call, as actually will dedicate themselves, just build up the Uber and probably play off the advantage now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take this push through Saw, as that pick onto Yellen was a saving grace, and Smear taking this in so quickly. Probably going to get the pick onto Domo here, but an amazing surf from Domo, and that Uber really did not accomplish much. They're really fearing the sniper from Crayon as well, and as well as that the Swamp are coming up on their Ubers, so they're going to want to get this cap and get out as quickly as possible.
It's a shame they lost Pred during all of that. Yellen does actually get a kill onto Clip, but trades his life for it as well. They have the Uber charge, and they will still go within it, despite losing 2 players, but they've lost even more players, and call that an extra players onto the Germans as well. That means that this midpoint will be given away for free without having to use the Uber charge. They can probably use the threat of the Uber charge alone to get their second point, and maybe even last.
Yeah, if the Germans knew they were going to commit 4 for that Uber, they really should have forced in that situation. But instead, they just kind of fed one by one, and it looks like Adolf accidentally joins the blue team. I'm not really sure about that.
They call.
Yeah, but they are going to take this Uber into last, but it's only a 10% advantage. It's really dwindling at this point.
Yeah, they will pop it off, and Kratos should have his Uber right now, and this is feeling awfully deja vu, Eskimo. It's like they were in this position before. They do get a lot more cap time, however, and they are doing a better job of kiting this Uber, and they actually sneak it. Domo just kind of hides behind a box.
Oh my
Why
God.
fight the enemy when you can hide from the enemy, Eskimo, and get the objective?
Yeah.
1-0 to the Swamp.
I mean, the Germans there, they tried the same thing, but this time they were cocky. Like, they gave up all the position, and it ended up that the Swamp ended up getting too much time on point, and yeah, Domo, pretty funny play, wins around.
Man, this is some very clean TF2 Eskimo. I'm not seeing any chaos play from either of these teams, just very calm, collected, educated guesses and predictions and calls from both of these teams going into it. We do have a minor pause going into our second round, but it's TF2. What's a game without a few pauses?
Yeah, and you're right there, like, it is a very clean game. The only chaotic situation we saw there is when the Germans had Dissad and they fed a few players, but Other than that, like, it has been a very clean game. You know, both teams are taking this really carefully, and they are playing well, yeah.
Now, we never really actually got predictions over and done with Eskimo, and I mean, you are a guy that's kind of close-knit with all these players. You know, you're a Prem player yourself. You've got your ear close to the ground. You could probably tell me in your educated wisdom who's going to win this matchup, and you even got a round preview to kind of base your answer on as well.
Yeah, to be honest, like, even with my experience playing against these guys, this is pretty much too close to call. I'm honestly going to say it. Like, both of these teams are really, really evenly matched, so it is going to be a very close game, hopefully very intense, and they keep up this pace. So, like, I genuinely do think that the next round will go to the Germans, and from that point on, it's just going to be, a match for who can get the deciding round.
We do have a slight unpause there, but that's not too uncommon in TF2, as usually you kind of pause to let the person take the time to get here, and when they try connecting, you unpause and quickly repause again to let him into the server. So it does mean we're going to have this unpause very shortly, but I mean, you still didn't technically give me an answer, Eskimo. I'm pointing a gun to your head. You need to give me a team name right now.
Okay, if you were forcing me to say, I would say the Swamp. I think they are a bit more calm, maybe, in their comms, a bit more structured, and they do have Gink, who is going absolutely insane right now. He could be a very serious factor, especially on product. You know, those scouts are very important, and he's also an extremely capable sniper, as well as Crayon. So I do think they have a slight advantage, just on Gink playing really well at the moment. But again, I'm going to say they're going to win, but you never know.
You fool, you fool, you've given me the correct answer. That means I'm going to have to predict the Germans, and the Germans have got this. Come on, man. They've got Smear, they've got Stefan, and they've got those two players. You know, they're gonna be fine. And again, we have seen like glimpses of these other players doing quite well, and the fact that you reassure me that they're coming in English, you know, cutting out all tilt, and they've got Mr. Anti-tilt himself, Samir, they possibly lose. As we do unpause and go straight into it, they lose very early on into this mid, but thank God he does make a trade, as they will actually kind of tower above this high ground with Gink, and Gink is actually farming them. Eskimo, can I kind of change my answer?
I mean, that was just a very messy mid from the Germans. They didn't look like that. Oh, but Yelen's on the chase, and he does get Kratos. Oh, no. Kratos. Kratos just assumed he was out. He didn't even realize. He didn't even try to dodge. Yelen, so good of him to get that pick. That's going to pretty much assure another round for the Swamp, I think.
Idolos, I know you're losing, buddy, but you don't have to keep switching to the red team. I mean, to the blue team. This isn't the way to win, man. Come on. Now, they will probably posture for a last push. I mean, they've got an uber advantage. They've even got a player advantage, for Christ's sake. So that is probably going to be the call. Pushing in from the shutter door now. Actually, Gink has a little preview and then goes back, and they will push in. They've got the uber chance to deal with that sentry gun, but Pyro's kind of being pesky and throwing back his own rockets to deal with that sentry gun. He does eventually go down, but that's the entire uber wasted. Smear gets a pick onto Gink, who is stacking that point, and there's the trap, there's the spring, and there's my predicted win in the bag, Eskimo.
Yeah, man, I mean, the Germans played that really quite well, and that is where we had the pause there. It looks like somebody timed out, I'm not 100% sure.
Crafty.
Crafty.
Crafty's in. He's in, he's subbed.
Yeah, looks like we do have Crafty on the sub for Clip.
Crafty day.
But yeah, the Germans made really, really nice work there. Like, once the Uber had faded, they just spread out, took all the ground, and the Swamp weren't in great positioning, as it does look like the Germans are pushing into mid.
I can't believe it. They've taken one of their own Swamp members and they've used it against him. Stefan will go down to Domo, who's kind of holding his ground over on this point. I think Stefan's playing almost a little too cocky in this game so far. Fishkoff and Idolos just kind of spend a bit too much time fighting a losing fight. They will get cleaned up for their troubles, and Crafty Dave has just turned up. He's like, team, I've only just joined the server, why are you pushing? And he's going to have to pick up the pieces now. He's going to Saw Room. Hopefully he can hoover up a couple of health packs, some ammo packs, maybe cause some chaos behind, but I think he probably will lose this 2v1 fight over on mid.
Yeah,
there we go.
He's getting cleaned up there, yeah. But the saving grace for the swamp there, I mean the Germans I should say, sorry, is that they did get their medic out alive. So it wasn't a complete failure, although I'm not 100% sure what that push was based on. So it does look like we're moving into a stalemate, and yeah, the swamp just relying on the Crayon sniper again.
Yeah, they're trying to provide some space for their sniper over on this left-hand side. They will throw in actually Yellen, who does kind of get a clean rocket onto Kratos and will sit back underneath the bombshell to gain back that health. But it's a nice little benefit when you're playing this sniper. Your medics or your soldiers and all your enemy team has to hold close to these doors, and that makes it very easy for your roaming soldier to start striking them with their rockets.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Crafty's in, but he wasn't going to get anything there. That was a very hopeful play. But yeah, you're right. Like, the benefit of the sniper is, while you take the room for your sniper, I mean, you saw it there. Yilin saw the opportunity to go for a force, and he was able to take it. And it was of no detriment to his team.
Yeah,
so,
Pred just had another crack. Pred just had another crack at it. Eskimo, just as we were praising him, he actually comes through for his team, gets the force onto Kratos, and now they're going to have a full Uber charge. But the only problem on the board is Big Crayon. I mean, he's pretty good at getting the pick, setting up the pick, but he's not very good at kind of pushing off the pick.
Yeah, he's not the most consistent, although he does hit the clutch shots. He might not be the most consistent, but does look like the Swamp are going to take this Uber out in, and they need to take it quickly, as these Germans are on 70%.
Yeah, well, he kind of justifies his life there, gets a pick onto Stefan, and I was a little bit worried if the sniper would have much presence in this. Again, dies for the cause, gets onto the point and blows off the stickies. They will start flooding it now in good Snake Water fashion, and they just push him off. Just, why kill them again, Eskimo? Just push them off the point.
So well played by the Swamp there. I mean, they knew what won them the first round, and they did it again. They just played the point straight away. And when you have that much time on point, you've pretty much won the round already.
Man, this seems like a whole new beast when it comes to the Swamp. They've been doing their homework. They've been hitting the gym, Eskimo. They've really impressed me with their turnaround. It just feels like so much clean TF2.
Yeah, they're really keeping it stable right now as we do go into this third mid, and both teams reluctant to start. Looks like no team is making a move yet.
Yeah, your eye is kind of big, that Crafty Dave. There we go, there's Crafty Dave. He jumps in, he launches in with Fishcop, gets the damage and the kill onto Daegu, and Stefan, he follows up in good Stefan DM fashion. They do have a few scouts kind of pondering about, but Stefan, look at him, he's hoovering them up. He might as well change his name to Henry, not Stefan. Pred will kind of prove elusive towards this last scout, and he might fully get out at this rate, but it's still a mid-clear for the Germans as they're starting to mop up second.
Yeah, it looks like though, after losing their medic, the Swamp are able to take second at least, so it will be a mid-hold for the Germans. But I mean, they tricked me, man. I was about to look away, I thought this was a slow mid, and then they just bomb in, both soldiers instantly get Daegu. I mean, that's a pretty funny mid, and it did end up working out. And unfortunately, Kratos went down, and I saw the bomb. He hits this nice surf, such a nice surf, but he gets tagged for like 10 damage from Crayon and dies to fall damage. Like, he was on like 20 HP in the air, just falling to his death.
Yellen just kind of did almost a spaceman jump right up in the sky, and they'll actually pop in the Uber. They go aggressive, they go straight on the Kratos and Smear. Look at everybody, they're sitting ducks here, Eskimo, as they've just gotten everybody. I'm very, very surprised there wasn't a pop of any sort of plan to deal with all that aggression coming out from the Swamp there.
Yeah, I really don't understand the Germans' plan there. I mean, their medic died later, so this means they have a disad. And yet they still chose to walk in against an Uber while they were on like 98% or something. So really odd play from the Germans. I guess they really need these 2 rounds if they're going to want to win this match, so the pressure is on.
By the way, Crayon has gone spy during all that. He actually ends up... What?
They just dropped to a sticky trap in the rocks on the grass. Oh my god.
Wow. When's the last time anybody's used that?
I've never seen that work.
they've seen this coming because they actually have Crayon on spy, but sadly he actually clipped a rocket or two and got noticed cloaking in. So the contingency plan for the inevitable Daegu drop was, you know, kind of cut short there. We called it Eskimo. We said every what seven Ubers or so he's going to drop. I mean, he was right on time.
And we do see the Germans taking their Uber ad just for free. It looks like the Swamp have no competition here. Oh, they do get a sticky trap kill onto Fishkoff, that will help, and they have the sniper and the NG on last, so this could be a hold for the Swamp, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see as the Germans are looking to take this in through under.
This is not the German efficiency I was expecting. They're a little bit late off the mark. They could have left somebody in second and start pushing in immediately. Maybe they were scared they were losing Fishkoff there, and they even lose Stefan as well. This is a dreadful Uber. The only solace they have is they got a kill onto Yellen, but look at that blob of the Swamp right now. They even got Crayon rocking
It's all about Kratos right now. He needs to get out. I don't know, what did he just do? He just tried to like battle medic someone, but he really should be getting out alive here because the Swamp already have a full Uber advantage. You don't want to lose your med again. That would mean they would get rolled all the way to loss. So the Swamp are going to take this Uber in, but the Germans have their heals. Hopefully they can get a force out. That's what they're going to be looking for.
Yeah, they picked a doorway. They're trying to go through the sort of catwalk area, and this will get them in cleanly and safely. They need to watch out for the crafty bomb though, and it is not quite crafty enough. He gets kind of a crappy rocket as a back cap during all that. Stefan bailed them out once before. He can do it again with another back cap, and this will delay like a good like 30% off this Uber as they try to push in now. They are down one player to kind of make this mid defense happen, but they could think about if they can get a force onto Daegu at this point. That doesn't look like anybody's committing for that though, but if they could have got a force onto Daegu, they could maybe have thought about taking their own Uber into that fight.
Yeah, at the very least, it does mean they have the Uber for a second. I mean, Stefan's play was very intelligent to delay for his team there, and I guess it didn't let them keep mid, but at the very least, they're not getting rolled to last. So they do have some chance in this game. There's 9 minutes left. They're going to need 3 rounds in 9 minutes if they're going to want to win this, or for the Golden Cap, they're going to want 2 rounds, which I think is a lot more manageable.
Yeah, and you know, it's playoff season, Eskimo. People aren't shy of kind of almost gaying it up, if you know what I mean, by just delaying things tremendously, dragging your heels, making sure you play as slow, methodical, and boring as possible to guarantee this playoff.
Honestly, like, people underestimate how much skill it takes to stalemate, even to hold. Like, it's not as easy as you think, as we do see Pred going down. Maybe that was a force play, I'm not sure. I missed it.
I don't know about that, Eskimo. Is it really a difficult choice when you start a new round and you just don't go to mid?
Okay, it's not the difficult choice, but what I'm saying is, as we do see Fishkoff sacking in there for the force, I guess, it's not the more difficult choice. But there's a reason 7 can do what they do. It's because their holds are
I never said 7. Whoa, someone's picking players and teams here. How dare you, Eskimo? Okay, I think 7 are a beautiful, wonderful team that played a great set of TF2. Have shame on you, Eskimo.
Yeah, man. But I mean, they can play that style if they chose to, because their holds are perfect, man. Like, they are impenetrable. As we do see a trade coming out from the Germans, they really want to break this stalemate so that they can get back into the game, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's the smart play from the Swamp. I mean, realistically, you're not going to want to risk. I mean, they're going for sacks. Like, we've seen it. Pred was the initiator here on this hold, going for a sack. I mean, it's up to the Germans. They're going to really want to, I mean, they're going to need a trade or a dry push very soon if they're going to want to take this back. And we do see another sack in from Crafty. This one looks pretty good though. He's getting a lot of damage, so much space for his team. Look at this. His team's literally walking in for free, and so much damage from the Germans. The Swamp might want to back this up. They do lose Yellen, but Pred with a bomb in gets Fishkoff. But I think it's all for naught, as if you look at this, the Swamp have no position here. They do lose Crayon, he was on Sniper, and the Germans want to keep this aggression up. They're going to keep rolling this into second, I think. We could have... Yeah, it's only these 2 players as the spawners do get denied. Yep.
Oh man, I thought Smear was going to get a nice set of jumps to kind of make the chase there. It does clip on a bit of cheese, so we'll sit back. We'll actually cap with his team over on this second point, but very well done to the Germans. That is a very difficult push to make happen, Eskimo, and it's rare to actually see it work, so I am in awe, almost.
I mean, there's skill on both sides, and in that situation, the Swamp got complacent. Realistically, in these holes, in these clutch situations, you have to be ready for anything, and the Swamp weren't ready, and the Germans took advantage of that, just with a dry push in, really good bombs by their soldiers, and they're going to need to do something quickly here if they're going to want to get around on the boards.
Oh no, I think they've just upgraded that sentry gun just as it was being spammed out. It will be cleaned up and there's no Uber to actually... oh no, they actually lose Smear, they actually lose Fishkoff. That might be the entire push just thrown out the door there, and that's going to take them a good 30 seconds to kind of get those scouts and soldiers and demo men back in position, back into place.
But they're taking this trade, they are really desperate here. They're taking a trade onto the scouts. Let's see how this goes.
This is going dreadful. Actually, no, Ivanos gets a kill onto Gink and gets out for it. That is very good, actually. I did not expect that, and neither did the Swamp. They're trying to actually get out, weasel their way out of this fight, but Crayon's being chased. He will be backed up by Yellen, who does manage to create enough space for his team member to get out, and the Ubers have been set. More time has been wasted, and it begs the question, did the Germans push without an Uber here? Stefan says yes! Oh Stefan's in! He's on the point! God. He's just clawed this round! Single-handedly for his team!
I cannot believe it. That's literally, that's the most insane play I've ever seen in my life.
He's just, it was one scout. I'm not even kidding, Eskimo. His entire team was like 3 seconds behind. They were out of there. By the time they joined the game, Stefan did it. He was on the point, he pushed them off, and he got the point on his own. That is one-man TF2 definition.
Oh my God. And we're moving into the next mid here. Let's see if the Germans can keep this up. There's 4 minutes left. Enough time, definitely, to win this match.
They need to go balls to the walls here. They need to win big and win absolutely huge if they want to kind of snowball this in. And the fact that they've already lost 2 picks to these scouts makes me think that they're not going to make it happen, Eskimo. These last 4 players have not died. Okay, these last 3 players have to not die.
Smear, nice play. Yeah, I don't really know about that one. I think the Germans were really reluctant after the initial fight to make a move. They should have gone all in, because in this situation, I mean, it's even Ubers, and again we see the Swamp holding mid, and they're going to learn from their mistakes, okay? They're not going to fall for the dry push again. I mean, it's really going to take a lot from the Germans to break this stalemate, but they can do it. Like, after that insane play from Chaos, from Stefan, they really are going to be in high...
tensions were a bit high there, Eskimo. You actually see Daegu. He immediately popped off the Uber, didn't even take a speck of damage, just saw Stefan and just went, huh? Click. And the Uber was popped off. But, I mean, no risks have been made. There's no reason to start going super crazy here. And that's all that the Germans haven't at this point. They have to go crazy. They have to... crazy pipe coming out from the only Swedish man on that German roster. He will kind of set the tone for the rest of this mid, and hopefully he'll keep pushing forward. Crafty.
Yellen's in behind. He's going to get... Oh, he just gets Crafty. Almost got the kill on the Smear too. Really good play by Yellen. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe it.
The scouts, the soldier, they're back in. They've got buffs. They're scary. They're walking in. They've just been peppered down. Look at these scouts. The focus fire. Stefan don't care about no Crayon. There will be a bomb from Pred from above, but doesn't really gets any follow-up from the rest of his team. They will delay this mid-capture, and look at it, Eskimo, it's so close.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely thought that the Swamp were going to fall for the same dry push again, but they did manage to get the pick onto Kratos. Such a crucial pick in this situation.
They even got the Uber, and that's kind of really solidified his defense. They've got 2 minutes left, and I know it sounds like a very slim amount, but in FPS land it's actually quite a lot, and they can definitely make this happen if they just kind of focus and really start thinking outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, if they can get a really nice dry push onto mid, if they trade out these Ubers successfully, I mean, yeah, they can roll that to last. Oh, but it's a crits! It's a crits coming out from the Germans, but it's a complete failure.
That is
and
a
they do pop
crit.
off on the Swamp, and this is going to be a huge Uber charge if they can get some frags here. But they could overextend into the Germans, and
no. That's not what they're doing. They're actually they're doing the opposite of that. They're underextending. They had an Uber, and instead they thought, let's just stare at the doorway. If they don't come to mid... Oh, the scouts are in. The focus fire is real. The scouts are farming the entirety of blue player at this very point of the game. He does get a Kratos kill, but that's just a med kill. If they can stat this point now, one player has gone behind and he's pretty much useless because the cap doesn't cap quick enough. These scout players have been released. It's all down to just DM and prowess at this point.
And Daegu was not healing anyone. They're not going to have the Uber for this last hold. I mean, we're going to see, it looks like the Swamp are actually choosing to hold second here. They're playing it dangerous, and they're after losing Crayon because of it. But I think the Germans, they need to take this in. 40 seconds left. Yeah, if they can get a good push here onto second, they can win this round.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see some very beneficial points. Nothing can go wrong for them right now. And with Fishkov dying, that is not a good sign. They do get a trade, so it does even out in the end. They have pushed out the remainder of the Swamp, but they're losing picks one by one, Eskimo, and that's their chances. That's their attempts or crack at this last point, kind of slipping between their fingers. But if you've got Stefan still alive, maybe he can do it all again. There's only these players left. They've got the pyro up, they've popped off the Uber. There's 7 seconds left. They just need to stand on the point realistically to keep this point on. They've even cleaned up 2 of the combat classes. It's just smear. He did have the crits Krieg. He did get some nice clean shots, but it doesn't make you critically cap the point. It will be 2-1 to the Swamp.
Yeah, great game there, and really great play by Daegu at the end. He popped up the Uber. He wasn't taking any risks, and he saved his entire team pretty much from that crit. Like, he did not drop, I mean, anyone who was actually in range. I don't think anyone died to the crits until the last second by Daegu, and I mean, really intense map there. I mean, the Germans were putting in a huge amount of work after going down 2 rounds pretty early on. They really they did work to get that round, and unfortunately they could not finish it off.
Yeah, usually I like to say, Eskimo, that the game was a lot closer than the scoreline suggests, but I think it's the opposite for this one. I think things were a lot further apart than the scoreline suggests. I think most of the game, I would say a good 80% of the game, the Swamp were in control. They had that game in the bag, but this last 20%, the sort of hopeful Germans, it almost made me believe that they could make it happen, but it's just... It's divine justice in the end. The team that ruled 80% of the game will walk away with the points, and I think it's well deserved.
Yeah, it was almost a crumble by the Swamp. I mean, realistically, you look at how they played in the last 10 minutes, and during those drive pushes, it was complete chaos. I mean, you said it after about halfway through the game, we were talking about how well the Swamp were playing. They were really, both teams were really steady, just taking it slowly. They knew what they were doing. All their pushes were informed. They knew what was going on. But once it got down to that crucial time where the Swamp did not want to lose their lead, and the Germans were absolutely, firing for it. The Swamp felt the pressure, absolutely. And I guess they did hold it out in the end, although it was probably a lot closer than they would have liked.
It makes me wonder if, do you think it would have benefited if Germany just went a bit more aggressive, if they just believed in their plays a bit more? Do you think the scoreline would have been different?
I'm not 100% sure. I think the manic aggression there, is that what you mean? That they should have been doing these aggressive plays all through the game?
Maybe if Stefan started walking in by himself, capping more points on his own.
Insane. That was literally insane. I guess you could say that. I mean, they didn't really push to get the lead out of the Swamp's hands until the very last few minutes. But I don't think those pushes would have worked if the Swamp weren't under a huge amount of pressure, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but they did play that really well. It's unfortunate they couldn't get the comeback, but the Swamp, they deserve that win. I think they were, as you said, they were dominant for about 80% of the game. So
yeah, I mean, I said it once, I said it 3 times. I probably said it a good number of times, Eskimo. I'm going to say it again. Clean TF, probably the cleanest I've seen in my casting of this season. You could probably eat your own meal off that goddamn game. It was so clean. But I was looking at some of these stats. We do have them up on the stream for you now, and don't worry, boys, I am paying attention to the logs. But we're kind of scratching our heads a bit before the game, like, how can we compare these two teams? It seems like everyone's so evenly matched. But the logs have done that job for us, Eskimo. It's the soldiers. The soldiers from the German team was just garbage this game.
I wouldn't say garbage, man. They did their job. You can see from how they played, though. I mean,
what was their job? Dying?
I mean, that's literally soldier in Prem, man. Literally, soldier in Prem is literally you bomb in, you die, so that your scouts can go, almost, their scouts were, they had far better stats and far more impact than the scouts of the swamp. Whereas you would look at the scouts of the swamp and you think they're kind of a little more, they get less room. Whereas in every push from these Germans, both their scouts are just running forward, doing huge amounts of work. So I think
somebody's got to be doing dying, and they just decided to pull it all onto the soldiers.
Exactly. I mean, that's literally it. Yeah.
Well, okay, it's a good thing you're playing good cop to my bad cop, but I don't know, man. There was a few times where I saw them making a good push in. They had the advantages, and I just saw like a random Fishkoff kill, or a random Fishkoff death, or a random.
That's true, yeah. I guess not all
Let's
of
look
those
at.
deaths.
Bring me those deaths, hamaham. I want to zoom in close, close.
Not all of those deaths were probably beneficial. I mean,
keep in mind they lost Aroma halfway through as well, so Crafty wasn't even hitting full death potential.
If you add Crafty and Clips deaths, they are the top on the server, so I guess that's not great. I don't know, I don't think you can put this one on the soldiers.
Alright. Okay, fine, I will stop the bullying, throw some shade maybe towards Brutal Game, as we are going live here, Eskimo. It is our second map. It is the one for all the marbles here. If they can get these points, they probably knock the opposing team out for the running of this playoff spot. So the Germans are going to have to play their hearts out if they want to tie this up, and they're not going to have to play like that if Stefan loses out the first blood to this mid. Crafty Dave will get on top of Daegu, and this kind of wonder pipe from Smear kind of plucks him from the sky. It's a shame that every person died for the Germans.
Yeah, at least they did get Daegu, but I have no idea what the plan was from the Germans there. That honestly seemed like a tilt. Like mid, like they all just ran in one by one. I don't really know what the plan was at all, but we do see the blue team have Crayon and Sniper. I was going to say beforehand, I mean, you saw that the scouts on the German team, they had by far better stats than the soldiers, and on this map that'll work a lot better. I mean, you need your scouts on this map. Your soldiers, you could literally play 4v6 if you wanted. Soldiers cannot achieve very much, as we do see a second kind of fight. We do see the Germans just walking very, very slowly up to the point. Really unfortunate deaths there on both soldiers and
It's
Smears.
okay, they're both soldiers. It's okay to lose them. Oh no, they lost the demo man. Is it okay to lose that too, Eskimo?
No, I mean, it's not okay to lose the soldiers, but they're definitely not as valuable as the scouts. I mean, you really can't afford to lose two players that early. I mean, one to a sticky trap and one to the sniper. What you need to do is just rush forward all at once as a unit. You don't want to be taking this slow, spammy angle if you're approaching the point. God. And again, they lose Fishkoff early. Like the Germans really need to just coordinate their aggression. They need to all go forward at once, and maybe then it'll work out better for them. But
there goes Crafty Dave now, just right on cue, Eskimo. I mean, I know you kind of... Oh my days, this is a cool game of TF2. What do you think the comms are like for the Germans right now? Do you think they're actually switching back to their German tongue during all this frustration?
I mean, like, there's definitely some German words said in there, and I'm 90% sure they're all swear words. So, it doesn't look like the Uber is coming in, so finally... some moves being made, but Fishkoff I think is going to get cleaned up behind, and the rest of the German team is completely baiting him.
Okay, well, there goes that player. Soldier has been sacrificed. Another soldier follows.
Oh, no.
I feel like everyone's just doing a play, Eskimo, and I haven't got the script. Everyone's just falling into place for the Germans in the exact same order over and over again. Am I watching a YouTube video? Is this a replay?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been 2 minutes now. The Swamp are completely uncontested on this map so far. I think the problem is that both soldiers for the Germans are bombing in, but they're getting no room, like no work done on the Crayon Sniper. He's putting out so much damage, so much impact, he's denying the entire rest of the team. So what the soldiers for the Germans need to do is deny this Crayon Sniper, and then their team can come forward.
It's really strange. It seems like the soldiers always want to get into the face, always take the obvious route going in. They want to kind of almost say, look at me, I'm in the air, shoot me, when I don't see any soldiers getting behind, taking the alternative routes, flanking them, Eskimo.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like every bomb they do is for Daegu for some reason, and I really don't understand it. Like, you need to get that sniper out of the way.
Oh my
That's
God.
literally what they need.
This is almost like a clean round without any points onto the board, or I should say seconds onto the board. It's gone into overtime, the point is clicking away, and someone needs to stand on the point. Stefan will be the one that sacrifices himself onto this, and maybe that's all they needed, just getting some point pressure. They actually do pop off an Ubo, a rarity for them in this game so far. They actually haven't capped the point though. But maybe this is a good thing, because they've lost so many players. These scouts, they've just come in from the sides, they've just pincered them. Oh my God, that was so sick. And now Crafty's just looking at it and all just like, how the hell did everyone die there?
It was almost looking good for the Germans. If they were even able to cap the point once, it would have been so great for their team atmosphere. They would realize that they do have a chance, but I mean, 3 minutes to none is really, really tough. We need to see the German soldiers jumping onto this Crayon Sniper. They really need to get pressure on that sniper.
Please not from the front. Go behind. Do anything. Just not in this middle bit, for the love of God.
Yeah, and we do see a double bomb coming out, but both are completely denied. And Crayon, yeah, both of them are getting picked up, but the Germans this time are actually getting space onto point, so it's actually a 4v4. They did lose Kratos, but they could win this DM fight. They do get Yelin. Crayon on the sniper. This is really disadvantageous for the swamp, and yeah, Smear with a nice pipe onto Daegu takes him down. Gink actually gets a cleanup pick onto Adelos. He's refusing to die. I mean, not a bad hold by the swamp, but the Germans finally making some move across point. I mean, they didn't actually bomb the sniper, but Crayon wasn't looking at point. So this time the Germans just decided, okay, we need to follow up on our soldiers. And it does look like the Swamp are trying to push out of their spawn, getting denied quite a bit by the Germans here.
Yeah, you gotta give credit where credit's due. Crafty was a big force for them. He got behind and he stayed behind, and it pulled their attention two different ways, and they couldn't really focus on what they should kind of deal with first. Did they deal with the people that's firing them from mid, or deal with the people that's firing them from the back? And they chose neither and paid the price, as they will throw it in. Fishkoff again does get cleaned up and puts out a little bit of damage, but in this grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to...
Crafty's behind them on Daegu. Is he going to get the kill? Yes, he does. With the help from Stefan in front, they do clean up those players in main, but actually, they lost 4 players for that pick onto Daegu. Not really a great decision here, I guess.
Oh wow, I can hear Kratos from here. He's like, uh-oh, I'm out of here. Screw you guys. They can have the point. I want to keep myself alive. He does have that uber charge, so I can trust in his words. He wants to keep himself to kind of see this next push through. Fishkoff will kind of be that space creator like he has been all game. They pop off the Uber very early, but expected. Crayon has been kind of melting faces with that sniper rifle. They do focus the brunt of the Uber with him, and Crayon just whizzes past them, goes for the health pack. Proves to be a difficult kill, but eventually gets cleaned up. Nobody's watching Kratos though. Oh, Kratos goes down. Oh no, that was a blunder from the... oh, actually, Kratos just takes out Domo right in the face. Didn't expect that, as they will keep rolling on the momentum, following their second win. Crafty Dave is on Daegu, but the difference between Kratos' team and Daegu's team, Daegu has some backup.
Yeah, I mean, crazy play by Gink there. Not sure we caught that. Basically taking the 1v2 against Smear and Kratos easily. I mean, really clutch play by him and won the fight for his team. Looks like they do have the full Uber out, so maybe some sacks coming in from the Germans now, as we do go into another pause. So first pause on this map.
The thing is...
Go ahead.
The thing is, Eskimo, I feel like I'm being a bit harsh on the Germans. It's just because I know they can do it. I'm predicting on them. You know, I know that they have the DM, they have the smarts, but it just isn't all coordinating for whatever reason.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't look like the Germans really know what they're doing on this map. I'm not sure how much practice they got on it, but every time they get in an advantageous situation, they kind of feed onto low ground. I mean, we saw when the Swamp were trying to push out of their spawn, if you remember then, they were getting absolutely crushed. But for some reason, I mean, the Germans weren't happy with just getting 2 picks, backing up to point, you know, playing it safe, delaying the timer. Instead, for some reason, they were just going for the wipe, and they end up wiping themselves almost.
Maybe it goes back to the mantra of some of these Germans on this team, Eskimo. It's all about fun. It's all about fun TF2, and you know what's pretty boring? Sitting back, waiting for the kills to come to you. Bah. When you can just go into enemy lines, get behind them, go for the big deeps, the big damage, the big scary plays, get the heart pumping, you know, and so what if you die a few times, you know, it's boring to you.
I don't think that's a valid style. I mean,
okay.
It's, if you want to play DM, like, just go on a DM server. Sixes is more about, you know, the cohesion, the coordination, and apparently they just have no cares for it right now. They're just running in. What they need to do is work as a unit, you know, deny the space together, but they're really not accomplishing that. What they need to do is, when they get that point, their spawners are worse, so they need to be as safe as possible. Just pick off the frags, do not commit for a trade because you'll have worse spawners. Just play it steady, play it safe, and it's kind of what the Swamp are really doing better right now. I mean, that sniper keeps them grounded, if you know what I mean. Like, they're essentially, if they go forward, they're 5v6. They don't want to go forward. What they want to do is sit back, let their sniper just keep the space, keep the point, keep the position, and the Germans are just feeding into them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they even beat the Germans over the head with how well that could work. That first round was an exact sort of game set and plan for them, and it just executed beautifully, and they realized that they can't just keep messing up the way. They need to be just a lot tighter, a lot more smart about how they want to approach things, or that round is going to keep replicating itself.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least this round they are getting some work onto the sniper, but it just opens up the curtain, I guess, to another problem of the team where they aren't playing it safe. They're just sacking into the enemy team, essentially. Even when they get, you know, some picks, they're just feeding in. But, I mean, this pause realistically, you know, it is 90 seconds in the future, but it could give the Germans, if it keeps going badly for them, it could give them some time to recuperate, you know, have a little discussion, think about their problems, think about what's going wrong. Maybe we'll see, you know, the soldiers being followed up on a bit better now that they've gotten to say, possibly.
Eskimo, maybe this is their cry for help. They're busy. They've flicked on the stream right now and they're like, there's only one man that would save us out of this situation. It's Eskimo. His wise words are going to lead us, and if they could hear you right now, Eskimo, what would you tell them? What would you say to them to make them turn around their game?
What I would say is, in these even fights, what they need to do is fish cop. Oh, we do unpause, so I'm not giving them any help.
I see you. We're going straight into
it. They don't get help. Well, if they want help, they can get a map talk. It's 5 keys per map talk, okay?
They do pop off Uber to kind of start calming things down. Kratos is still down, keep in mind, during all this, so they've got a full Uber advantage in a sense, despite using the Uber now, and they just need to keep everybody healthy, play off the heals. They will go for Daegu, but it's desperate plays from all these players. They actually won't cap off this point, kind of hoping that if they delay the cap, maybe they can get those respawners using the loser's advantage, and they won't even give them that. They won't even give them a mere touch of this point. It will keep the way of the Swamp for now.
Yeah, so clutch by Kratos there to stay alive. It was almost catastrophic. I mean, when you go in for the force, you cannot be losing your medic at the same time. That doesn't make any sense, as we do see the Germans making another push onto the point, and they actually get the cap. So here we have it. They are playing slower. They're just playing more controlled. Hopefully they can make some moves onto the Crayon sniper here. But I mean, realistically, the Swamp need to wait for their sniper to get picks, and the Germans can just sit back. But the Uber actually coming in. Looks like the Germans completely forgot about that, and they did get caught off guard, but realistically they milked it very well. What happened there?
It's just Crayon, just kind of... I kind of watch his perspective, his rough sort of area, and this feels like the best sniper game ever. You don't feel any pressure. Sure, you get like one player kind of poke his head from the side every so often, but he doesn't stay there. I mean, he does stay there for quite a long time. It's just kind of like the game has relocated itself. Has a quick little pod shots here and there, takes out Crayon, and back to the main game, back to just some free sniping. It's like I'm watching CP Orange right now.
Yeah, but the Uber from the Germans comes in. Doesn't look too good. Hopefully they don't overextend now.
Yep.
8 loss does go down, but this could be a hold. They could still... Oh, no. Oh! Fishkopf goes in for a bomb for no reason, but Crafty makes up for it with a snipe. He's actually on sniper.
I like
Gets a pick onto Domo. Yeah, it's a good change. They did need a change, and Smear getting a pick onto Yilin, they could be able to hold this point if they do contest it now. Yeah, Stefan running onto the point. Oh my god, absolutely demolished Gink. He just absolutely demolished Gink in a 1v1 there, and that's going to save them the point. And if you look at the scoreboard here, it's actually the Germans on top.
I really like this. This tactical pause has worked wonders for them. They put Crafty Dave away from that horrible soldier class that we were kind of ripping on this product map. And just picked up the sniper rifle himself. And sure, if Crafty feels like he's not too great as Crayon, it doesn't matter. You still put out a lot of pressure as a sniper against another sniper by just being around, being on a threat to him in these rough areas. And look, he's even a threat to these other players as well. Crayon is struggling to kind of find out the same picks that he was hoping for before, and I think they might just get this second round here, believe it or not, Eskimo.
Yeah, it looks like we actually have a game on our hands. I'm very happy about that. And we do see that sniper from Crafty. That's absolutely what they needed.
What a tone shift.
Yeah, they weren't happy with going forward, bombing the sniper. And an actual alternative is just to take the sniper duo. If you don't think bombing your soldiers in is working, just go sniper and, you know, playing that more slow style. As I said, it's grounding them back. So if they continue playing like this, it's going to be a very, very close game. And yeah, Crafty and Crayon both still on sniper.
Yeah, it's not just the only layer to this as well. I even saw Smear was bombing in a lot more, being a lot more aggressive with these Ubers and just trying to take out the problem, which has been Crayon. And they're playing a bit more back now, playing with the sniper, not going aggressive and giving them easy picks. Kratos does get disconnected from his team for a moment there to pick up a health pack, and now he's back with his team, but there's just no real healthy players on this. Crafty
headshot though.
You know, Crafty's been knocked down to the ground and he has to take a significant amount of time away from his teammates' heals to kind of recover from that as well. Smear does get one kill, but the trade is not a good one, Eskimo. This is a horrible trading affairs.
They saw that they were about to lose the point and I think they panicked. They kind of sacked in Smear and Fishkopf there, not really for any reason. And we can see, I mean, the second Crafty got headshot by Crayon, the mid was over. From now on, this match is essentially a sniper battle, if they're going to keep this up, and Crayon clearly coming out on top so far. Yep, gets the pick onto Crafty. This is disastrous. They're taking in the trade, and it's very bad for the Germans, so the Swamp might even be able to catch Kratos here if they try hard enough. Kratos just clutching it out. He's just about to get out, is he? I think so. Oh my god, he got chased so hard, and they actually get 3 picks going for the Daegu chase. So I mean, the chase onto Kratos.
Gink is hiding, and Gink... Actually, Crayon beats him to it. Crafty killed Gink. Oh, man. TF2 is a cool game. Loser's Advantage will rear its heading and provide a bit of breathing room to the Germans now. It's good for the overextending just as many players on the side of the Swamp as the Germans did on their side. And Crafty Dave is still kind of making things happen, but I know I talked about I like the sniper play Eskimo, but I don't like relying completely on Crafty to do everything there. Maybe if they keep up the aggression, but have Crafty do his thing in the background as well, that would be ideal, but...
Crafty missing the shot onto Daegu there, so close. But I mean, the Germans, they do get the 2 frags, 3 frags now with the pick on the Crayon. But yeah, Crayon getting the pick onto Kratos there, so essential. I mean, Kratos had just survived like a sack wave of 4 players. And then he just dies to a headshot instantly. So, looks like a bit of a forward hold coming out from the Germans. And they do get a pick onto Yilin, but Smear getting pressured out very hard here on the cliff. And the 8 loss going to go down as well.
Yeah, they were really lacking an extra player to bail Smear out there. It makes you wonder where... Actually, because they're running that Crafty sniper...
Headshots by Crafty, though. Oh my god, the headshots by Crafty. really could pull this out for the Germans, who look like they're in the retreat, but they... Oh, Stefan going down, but Crafty with the return pick onto Crafty. Ayat Gink.
Wow, Crafty, you are your own worst enemy. Make sure, as he will sit back, he will kind of... It's just, I don't like it, Eskimo. The fact that they were doing a forward hold, but they had the sniper back on his own half of the mid, it's almost expected his team to fail there, and they failed, and it was just such a hard fight for them to take past that point. If you're going to make those forward holds happen, I feel like you need to either bring your sniper up really close as well, or just maybe swap him out onto a soldier or something, or just not do the stinking forward hold.
Yeah, I agree. Like, they really shouldn't have tried that forward hold, in my opinion, with the sniper. It's not really going to work at this level. But, I don't know, they are relying on Crafty a lot, but they're being a bit too aggressive now. But Crafty is actually making it work with the pick onto Crayon, giving his team a lot of space now. Like,
oh, Smear, you beautiful, magnificent piece. What a set of pipes on the man as he takes out Domo, his opposing rival on that Domo class, and will win this point out for his team. That's the damage gone for the Swamp, and they're going to have to cry all the way back to respawn, as they do have an Uber charge, but they have to wait for all these players to come up, and they've got a sniper playing aggressive as well, so this Uber won't feel quite as impactful as the average Uber.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the snipers can do in this situation. It's a pretty even situation. The Uber for the Germans about to come up.
Oh,
but
there goes Daegu. And there comes Daegu. He launched himself into the sky for a moment there. Does come back. They will cap off the point, and they're making a few trades, but is this really... Oh, it's not really a trade anymore. They're actually cleaning up some of these kills. Gink is overextending himself. There we go. Trade equilibrium has been set back into place. If Crafty does... Oh my god! Crafty just pooped on Yellen! Wow, man, that's a snipe. That's a snipe so hard that you probably changed class. Like, it was... Woo!
Oh my god, man. Such an insane shot by Crafty. That's so funny. Yellen's not going to be happy with this. Former teammate Crafty absolutely demolishing him. But you can see, this is a battle of the snipers.
Oh like, my god, Crafty Dave just shot him in midair and he's been crated!
Can you imagine being Pred in that situation? No, it was a snipe from Crafty, fully charged body shot, takes Pred out in the air. But yeah, fully, this is just a battle of the snipers. Whichever sniper gets more picks in each fight, whichever sniper does more damage, is basically winning the fight for his team. And with so little time left on the board, it's all up to them at this point. As Crafty, the clutch.
Oh my god, Smear, you man, you machine, you monster! Crafty, but Smear putting the team on their back. Crafty! What is it with snipers in this bloody map?
Crayon just got the clutch pick onto Crafty, but will it be enough? It does not look like it. Nobody's going to make it a point in time. Crayon, if he had gotten that pick 10 seconds earlier with the drop onto Kratos, would have been a completely different story. They could have won this round, but unfortunately, 10 seconds too late.
What the hell, Eskimo? This was plan B. Why the hell were they spending a whole round on plan A if this was their plan B? This is insane.
The Swamp are off sniper. They've given it up. Crafty has outclassed them at their own game. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, well, they will launch 2 soldiers in. They're not expecting this. Neither was especially Crafty Dave. He will be the first blood for his team, and they've got 2 players caught behind, and Yellen and Pred are just being a headache for them, showing what Soldier can do on this map, and the tone shift has been applied for the Swamp as well, and it is super effective, Eskimo.
Yeah, Daegu going down to a single soldier. He's not going to be happy about that, but at the very least they get a pick onto Kratos. Unfortunately there they capped the point, which means they're going to have worse spawners. If they had just delayed the cap, it would actually be an even fight, but at this point the spawners for the Germans much better. They're going to be taking this in very aggressively.
Crafty's mad. I can see it in his vision. He wants to get that snipe onto somebody, kind of even things out for his team on the time. But his team is nowhere to be found. They're being pushed on this left-hand side, and the sniper can't really help out his team when they're all fighting on that left-hand side as well. Stefan will be that last little skirmishing frag for his team, as they will hold on to this midpoint and probably get this Uber charge ready in time for Kratos' own Uber charge.
Yeah, but the Swamp are playing this so like they're playing it exactly like I wanted the Germans to play at the start. They are committing onto the sniper every time, except for right now, where
sniper?
Crafty gets a pick onto Crayon.
Crayon. Oh wow, what a big boy bomb from Smear. He actually enters the fold. He looks like he's actually gets out as well with a clean little jump away, and they turn their eyes with the blue Uber to the flank, but doesn't really find anything of sustenance. They will still have Smear to deal with. He will get cleaned up, but this provides some needed space for the Germans to actually take this midpoint back and maybe start kind of following this up with some forward momentum aggression.
Yeah, but this time, Smear down, they're going to play it safe. This is better. They have the sniper, they need to play it slow. Like, if they can just sit back, let Crafty, let the Swamp feed into Crafty. But here, Yilin bombing, pressuring Crafty, and look at this, the Swamp just swarm forward, getting all those... Oh, never mind.
Yeah, and they will throw in Fishkoff, and that's sort of some space for his team to provide there. And look at this space, just kind of crafting some of these diamonds in the rough. Crafty is just taking all this pressure and forged some lovely pieces of jewellery, some gems almost, you could say, Eskimo, with these snipes.
Minecraft David here going absolutely insane. I mean, he is pulling it through for his team right now. Swamp really need to get more pressure. They're putting pressure onto Crafty, but not enough.
Yes, Germans, you went for a forward hold there, and you fought better against it. Yes, Germans, you can hear us. You can actually hear us on the stream.
Yeah,
if you can't hear us, Smear, I think you owe me some money. But Fishkoff will actually get in behind, gets the kill onto Gink as well, and that's going to provide some sort of pressure from behind. And look at this pincening maneuver. They do actually get the kill onto Fishkoff, but I think the groundworks have been laid. Crafty Dave is still around. Keep in mind, Eskimo. Keep in very much in your mind.
I don't think you can forget about Crafty at this point. He's absolutely demolishing for the Germans right now. I mean, absolute super merc. We have to remember, I mean, it was Clip at the start of this game, but unfortunately, I think Clip's internet died, so we have Crafty for the rest. The Germans do. And, I mean, without Crafty, where would they be? Honestly, they're 2-1 up, and they're actually in the lead this round, but Yilin bombing onto Crafty. There it is, exactly what they needed.
Nice, very well played. Yilin will go down for it. I was kind of hoping he would spend a bit more of his life and has a little bit more to give, but he really wanted that health pack, and they saw it come in. They planned a trap for him, gets cleaned up, and they do have Crafty down, but keep in mind, Eskimo as well, they don't have that point. They're going to have Crafty Dave back into the game in no time. Shame it's not that they need a bit more time, a bit sooner time to actually bring him into it, because his team did go down during that little skirmish there, overextending despite the lack of Crafty.
Full Uber though, full Uber ad for the Germans. They're using it in, but they do not seem to get anything Domo. It's a pretty nice pick, and Yilin stuck in behind. He's also going to get cleaned up. But yeah, they're going to cap off the point, so those spawners for the blue team going to be up quite soon. But yeah, the Germans so much better at the moment. But at the same time, the Swamp really putting the pressure onto the Crafty sniper. And that's what you need to do against a sniper. You need constant pressure, especially against a sniper as good as Crafty. Could be pulling out something insane for the Germans.
Oh no, it's a Crayon Pyro. Olga, what have you done? As they have, it will break up the forward hold, but the Pyro is quite commonly used to break those forward holds now. And usually the downside to this is you've got a Pyro, but maybe that's a positive. They do actually get the snipe onto Yelin, and there's not too much a Pyro can do against a sniper unless he's got some of that detonator play. Fishkoff will die, but that's expected at this point. And they have got some point pressure going, and they will kind of lose. Old Domo kind of walks in. I guess he was hoping to get a bit more damage than that, but feeds his life away to the Germans now. Crafty gets a couple of snipes, so puts some fear into the hearts.
Out of the Germans. They need to get this Uber out of the Germans, or it's over. They're going to cap off the point.
Oh, they actually get a kill on Smith.
That could be pretty good, and they force off the Uber. So the Swamp, this is a pinnacle moment for the Swamp. If they don't want to lose this game, I mean, it's 1-2. The Germans could win this right now.
Oh no, Crafty Dave is just kind of put a full stop to that now. Everyone's been killed. There's only 4 seconds left. It's GG. Even Domo's calling it. Turnaround has been made. The comeback happened, Eskimo. Who would have believed it after the first round?
I mean, the Crafty super sub. I mean, what more can you say? What more can you say about Minecraft David? He literally carried the Germans completely. I don't think you can argue that.
Yeah.
The Swamp were clearly showing they knew the map better, they knew how to play it better, but once the crafty sniper came out, nothing could be done. He was going absolutely insane.
Yeah, and it was just the way that they were playing as well. I saw that Smear was taking a lot more aggression in these sort of overall fights prior to that first round. I mean after that first round. But yeah, it only really looked so dominant because Crafty Dave was kind of throwing in some bonus frags between all of their aggression as well. So a very well done to the Germans, or wie das liest und doof. Oh, I'm not going to get that right.
They're going to get 3 points. Both teams going to be relatively happy, I guess you could say. You know, they're going to get points out of this game, both teams. But we do have the logs on stream, actually. And the first thing I see, okay, look at this. Can we just look at this? Crafty played 12 minutes of Soldier, and he went 2 for 11. He had 2 frags. And then he went on the Sniper. Yeah, casual 18 kills and 3 deaths. Wow. 8,000 damage. 8,000 damage in 14 minutes.
Hot damn.
Let's do the maths on that one.
I would kind of, give a big scream for him as well, but and he does have 21 headshots, but I'm not sure if you saw there was a Ascent game that happened a while ago where Credo got 34. It's just been, so far, these product matches have just been displaying the showmanship of these snipers and showing what they can do on this map, and maybe it might change some opinions here, Eskimo. Do you think Banny's watching the stream going like, maybe we should run a sniper for once in America?
Okay, if your sniper can get 550 DPM, I just did the maths, 550 DPM over 14 minutes, then I think it might be viable. 21 headshots, maybe, it might be a good plan. Especially when your sniper takes the least damage almost on the server. I mean, the Swamp, they tried their best. Yilin, you could see him bombing onto Crafty in every situation, but he just got absorbed by the Germans. They played it literally. I mean, they absorbed the aggression and they just let Crafty sit there. And, 550 DPM.
It does make me wonder if Crayon didn't do so well on that sniper in the first round. Do you think they actually would have gone sniper in the first place to counter him? It's like they went sniper to initially counter him, and they went like, oh wow, sniper's a pretty fun class, guys. It's just you click on the man and he dies. And
that's actually a good point. Like, if they had not been destroyed by the Crayon sniper in the first first round, I should say, it's possible that they would have won.
I think you could say the greatest MVP player for the Germans was actually Crayon. He inspired it all. He was the one that he was doing such dominant play against these soldiers in the back line, gave them no hope at all, and forced them to go the sniper counter. And the sniper counter went past just being a counter and just being a force.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I don't think you can see much else from the logs here other than Crafty. I mean, you can just tell. He was absolutely insane.
And it's a real shame as well, because Crayon was having a good game. He was playing pretty good in the first round. It was very dominant. Second round was alright as well for Crayon. Third round was... But they tried to change it up, and it was working to some degree at some points of the game, but it was just too late.
I mean, it's not like Crafty, it's not like the game was completely decided. It was still very, very close. We saw it in those, in the third and fourth rounds. It easily could have went to the Swamp, but unfortunately, just the deciding factor of Crafty, in my opinion, really pulled it out for the Swamp, yeah.
I mean, just to say how well both of these snipers played, I'm surprised that the only amount of drops we've got both out of these medics were just 2 and 1 respectively.
Yeah, that's true. And one surprising thing, actually, Domo on 35% heals, really getting tanked there. You can see the soldiers for both teams. Really not a soldier-dominant map. What you're going to want to do on this map is give up heals for your scouts and demos, and that's exactly what both teams did in this situation. So well played by both teams in knowing that they should give those classes more room.
Yeah, I mean, Yellen gave up the soldier class, and the Germans just gave up their soldier. They just took his Ethernet cable out and just went like, "You're out, kid. We're getting Crafty in the sniper main."
Yeah, I mean, you have to be pretty salty if you're the swamp here. Like,
Could
imagine
you imagine that
allowing,
exchange as well?
yeah,
They probably messaged them saying, "Hey, can we play with Crafty?" And they all had a chat. It's like, what's the harm in letting Crafty play?
yeah. I mean, they were pretty dominant. They were up 2 rounds on Snake when it happened,
Mac as well,
if I
after
recall
Crafty
correctly.
just played Roaming Soldier.
Yeah, like they were up. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny. I mean, as you can see, their tag tonight. You know how they have Dave at the end of their name? It's actually in honor of Crafty Dave,
Oh
who
man,
then comes and shows them why he is
this is
worthy.
this is why he's been worshipped as a
Yeah.
god. Bow down, peasants. The Crafty Dave interview is nothing. It's nothing more that I can think about right now. I need a Crafty Dave interview. It's not something I want. It's need. All right. While we hopefully get some Crafty Dave or any sort of interview going, we could probably have a look at some of these extended logs over in the back area. Hamaham, some extra buttons back there. I want you to press them. I know they look scary and nobody's pressed them in a long time. There we go. Relative frags by zone now. It's kind of a bit of a shame that we've got a King of the Hill map because this does illustrate a point when it comes to 5CP, but it does kind of show off who was winning.
Look at that. Crafty 12 kills. Next highest, Stefan with 2.
Yeah, but look at Crayon though. It's like the snipers have just sniper wars. It's maybe this isn't TF2 anymore, Eskimo. This is just battleships.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Let's try and get Crafty in here. He really went insane. I mean, you can see it from the zones that once the players from the blue team entered the right side of the map, they were absorbed. Like, they did not get frags on that side of the map.
Yeah. And it goes to show that it wasn't just all of Crafty Dave. You had Smear kind of picking up the helm as well. He was a force to be reckoned with in the demo kind of matchup. Not even a blue member has appeared on that midpoint. I mean, it is King of the Hill, so kind of expect the winning team to kind of walk away with it. But we could probably look at some other ones. I think an interesting one would be like the domination one, or the domination sort of button back there, hamaham. To your left. No, to your right. My left. Your right. The domination one, the one that just press any button back there in the back one. There you go. Frag percentage by zone.
Once we're done with that, actually, we do have Gink and Crafty Dave in for interviews. So huge interview coming up, guys. Get ready for it.
Okay, maybe we should just cut this short. Let's just take him off. Take it off the stream. We'll just bring him in now. Cut the logs. We'll pull them in. You might have to unmute them as well. But anybody should pull them in. I can't pull them in. I'm lacking arms right now. Ham too. Eskimo. Unmute them. Right click them.
I am denied move privileges.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is that Crafty Dave? Is that Ayat Gink?
What's up, guys?
Oh my god. Is that 550 DPM sniper Crafty Dave?
Okay, boys. I need to do pleasantries and professionality. Give me a moment here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the interview stage with Crafty Dave from the I guess the Merc for the Germans, and we have Gink, the scout player that was doing pretty well on that Snakewater match in the first half of the match from the swamp. Alright, boys. First off, let's get it out of the way. Everyone's pretty hyped about it right now. Crafty Dave, talk to me about this sniper. What was the thought process on like picking up the sniper, or why you chose the sniper, or how you guys discovered that you were pounding with the sniper? Walk me through it.
Well, after the first round, I was on a James Bond stat line, 007. So I wasn't really having much fun. I just said, like, if you need me to go sniper, I can. And Samir just told me to go sniper after the pause. And I just started hitting shots, I guess.
You were just a tool of the Germans, is what you're saying then?
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere like? And also, can I ask why you're the only person who came to interviews as the Merc?
I don't know. I left there Mumble, and then I just saw you typing in TFTV chat and came here.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, was the atmosphere pretty hype so after coming back from that first round, or how did it feel when you started coming back? You know, could you tell you were going to win after the first round?
Was there any German words said?
Oh, Smear is joining.
Oh, Smear's joining. Nice.
Smear can answer on that too. So I'll repeat the question, Smear. Like, how was the atmosphere change, I guess I'll say, from the first round to afterwards? I mean, was it a big difference, or how?
On what map?
Product.
Yeah, I mean, like, the atmosphere was really quiet on the first round. We didn't really know what was going on. I asked them, but no one could answer. It's just, we got denied at every turn. And after that, we started running sniper. We started to come back, and it went a lot better. And like the overall atmosphere went up.
Now, guys, I've got to ask: was the only reason you went sniper was to deal with Crayon, or was Crafty Dave going sniper no matter what?
No, like Crafty asked if he could snipe, so I assumed he would hit shots.
So Crafty Dave?
It wasn't necessarily just to counter snipe. It was just like I was getting shut down on soldiers so hard that I was obviously going to be more effective if I could snipe.
All right, let's take a trip to the other side of things. Let's see how the opposing team was dealing with this sniper takeover. Gink, what was the comms like in that product match?
Honestly, like second round, I didn't really notice Crafty that much. He was kind of like hitting some shots, but like it really picked up in the last rounds, and our team was starting to be like, all right, guys, we're getting owned by Crafty, and we tried a number of different things, like tried being more aggressive and yelling, jumping more, but it was too late. Crafty was always taking over the game.
Well, I was surprised, honestly, that they switched their like strategy from core sniper.
Crown didn't really want to like go off sniper, but it would have been AIDS to cause an argument, so he just went off, and just went like that. Yes.
Gink, tell me, how was the atmosphere like after the first round? I bet you guys were almost feeling like the entire game was in the bag at that point, surely.
I don't know, like. Our product up until now has been really, really good. Like we haven't lost any scrims in the past week, even against Ascent. So we're just like, oh, this one's a freebie. But like, against when the Crafty newts started coming out, I was like, oh no.
How did it feel allowing Crafty? Was there any salt about that in Mumble?
I mean,
I'm on the roster.
We're playing Prem. We don't deny anyone. We're not rap.
Oh, you're on the roster?
Yeah, I'm a sub.
You're a traitor to this one.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I mean, Crafty's getting passed around all season.
Yeah, but Gink, can I ask you, what do you think was the deciding factor on Snake that let you take the early lead? Like, what do you think brought you that victory?
Oh well, no offense, but like Fishko from Cliff weren't doing anything. They just jump and like it was super easy to deny them, so they're basically two down all the time.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it in the logs. They really didn't have very good stats. But I said that it could have been that they were making space for the rest of their team. What do you think of that? Do you think they were getting baited by the rest of their team?
Maybe they're getting baited, but they were jumping in alone, and like it was kind of like I don't know what the comms were like in their team, but they were jumping pretty deep, pretty alone, and I was just like cleaning them up because I'm a scout club, and they were just feeding me basically. Didn't really feel the impact.
All right, Gink. I know you did win that Snakewater match, but we're all perfectionists here. Tell me, was there anything that you thought was going wrong for your team in that Snakewater match?
Last 5 minutes was pretty yikes. Like, comms were cranking up because there were trades coming in and people were dying, and then people would try to flank, and very fast comms were coming up. Like we were losing like holes for free, and that's pretty much it. To be honest, just the last 5 minutes getting a little bit spicy.
Yeah, you could see it in how you were playing. Like, it did look quite shaky once they started going for the comeback.
All right, if we maybe turn things to the German perspective, or maybe I should say the Swedish or Brit perspective, guys, what went wrong in that Snakewater match, in your opinion?
We got 2 rounds of us, but we didn't. I didn't really think we should lose them. I think Aidalos went to the opponent's team instead of building a sentry. So
yeah, he did twice.
That's kind of a throw. Also, Clip couldn't perform as he is sick right now, so we had to sub him out mid-game. And by that point, we had already lost, I think, 1 or 2 rounds.
Oh, right.
So you think that was kind of a throwaway map? Or?
Yeah, a little bit. But we almost managed to take it back, even though we had to play quite messy. We had to take trades and lots of that stuff, but we almost made it in the end.
Now, Smear, Crafty, I'm not sure if you I'm not sure actually if Crafty was here for this point, if clips are without either way. But I just want to talk about one moment that sticks out in my head. There was a point where Stefan walked in on his own, took on like 4 players. Like, I'm not sure if he killed one, but he like shot one out into the atmosphere, capped the point by himself, and then you guys lagged in behind like a second later, and then Stefan was just watched Stefan cap and win the round. What was the reaction in the mumble at that point? What was everyone so shocked, surprised, or is this just an average day for the Shockster?
I honestly didn't realize what happened. Like, I was just waiting to push in on the left, and then the point was capped before anything really happened.
He literally just ran in, like 4 people shooting at him and capped.
Gink is so shameful that he's actually left. He's left the interview stage.
He's going to play War Thunder, I think.
All right. Fine, you've dodged me this time, Gink. I was kind of hoping for the other perspective on that, but I guess we could start maybe wrapping things up then, unless you've got some questions for our German correspondents, Gamo.
No, I think that's everything.
All right, okay, I guess we'll start going in alphabetical order. Guess first, after all. So, Crafty Dave, thanks for joining us for the interview. Have you got any special shout-outs you want to take advantage?
I'd like to shout out Condog for letting me leave his scrim so I can murk for the Germans.
What a lad.
Or sub, rather. Shout out to Nanya. The real Nanya.
The real Nanya.
Wow. Smear?
Shout out to Alba and Kaiser.
Nice. Eskimo, for being such a wonderful co-caster, I guess you get to go first.
Wow, thank you so much. Shout out to Ascend. Shout out to Aura Electro. Shout out to Omyrtle, Stormy, and Triangle.
Nice.
And you, Turbo?
Oh no, I'm gonna... You know what, for once...
Gink's actually back in the...
Oh, he's back. Above. Okay, alright, drag him in.
Give me those shoutouts. Gink!
Oh, he was here for all of 1 second.
Never mind.
Okay.
Shout out to Moogle, by the way.
Yeah.
Alright.
Go on,
hamaham,
TurboTabs.
do you wanna whisper any shoutouts in my ear and I'll relay them back for the stream? Shout out to a non-DDoS game. Okay, that's all he said.
Go on.
Alright.
Go on, Turbo. Go on, Turbo. You deserve it.
It's time for... Oh, Gink's here. Great.
Gink!
Gink. Quick, Gink! Shout
Smash those shoutouts.
Shoutouts!
Smash that!
I don't know. Shout out to my team. Shout out to Yellen12 on the stream. And shout out to Gandhi. That's it.
Alright. My shout-outs are shout out to our YouTube, shout out to our Twitter, shout out to our website, shout out to our Facebook, shout out to our Discord, shout out to Eskimo, shout out to Smear, shout out to Ging, shout out to Crafty Dave, shout out to hamaham, and shout out to you guys, yes, you guys watching at home. Shout out to everybody, shout outs all around. This is TurboTabs been shouting out. Thanks for joining us in this swamp versus the word das ist doof.
Perfect. That was perfect.
Okay.
Well done, Turbo.
Cut it, hamaham, cut it!